The region could see an advantage of the economic partnership agreement on the education sector. However, the main challenge will be to keep up with competition, innovation, ICTs, and social networking. Here's more.
The cultural protocol of the EPA, artists and other cultural practitioners who are not involved in commercial activities in the EU will be allowed to collaborate on projects and get training in the EU. There is also provision for training in several areas including foreign languages, intellectual property rights, labor markets and business techniques. Carl Greenidge of the Regional Negotiation Machinery says it is unlikely that there is any negative implications for regional tertiary institutions under the EPA.
That the agreement provides a variety of opportunities for dealing with those areas of great input to issues pertaining to intellectual property rights, data protection, and enhancement, and so forth. So issues such as safeguarding markets from monopolistic practices and safeguarding intellectual property.
The deal provides new opportunities for safeguarding and fostering the region's intellectual property and, among other things, promote and support innovation. And the EU is required to provide incentives for the transfer of technology of CARIFORUM firms.
There is a special obligation to the educational sector to see how it can best to equip CARIFORUM's human resources with the wherewithal of the formal, informal, and other sector so that they can deal with these challenges, especially in the context of what seems to be an unending digital revolution.
But there are some implications. The importance of exchange and trade marketing and keeping ahead with the competition means that familiarity with ICTs, facility with social networking will also need to be repositioned in the formal and informal education universes the region offers. The challenge is now to support innovators who have already begun to take advantage of the opportunities the EPA provides. This is only likely to happen if it shifts from its long-standing emphasis on a traditional fear of outputs, and Guyana's Foreign Trade Minister Henry Jeffrey says Guyana has not made any commitments with a particular component of the agreement.
And mode 4 is the movement of Europeans into, for instance, you come and you set a company in Guyana and you want to bring workers. We have not committed to that. What we have committed to is that you come, you may invest, you may bring. And the accreditation process is of seminal importance in all of this that we are doing here. Because it is through that process that you no doubt will put into place all kinds of regulation and arrangement that if someone from your country.
The Economic Partnership Agreement was signed between most CARIFORUM countries and the European on October 15. It was later signed by Guyana, whose president fought for the inclusion of two major clauses. Ernestine Jagnerine reporting for the NCN 6 o'clock news.
This is the NCN 6 o'clock news. CARICOM trade ministers will meet here shortly to discuss the implementation of the recently signed Economic Partnership Agreement with the European Union. The 26th meeting of the Council for Trade and Economic Integration, COTED, will be held on November 24 to 25 at Lumurdio, Pegasus. Here is Edward Lane with details.
Economic Partnership Agreement has been a hot topic in Guyana and by extension the Caribbean over the past year. There were debates as to whether the deal will benefit the region, but one of the outstanding issues was that of implementation, how it will be done, and the cost. But so far no one has been able to attach a cost to the implementation of the deal, while Europe has not set aside any new financing for this purpose. On several occasions, President Barry Jagdeo had said that the EPA may cost as much as $1 billion to implement. It is understood that the quoted meeting will place heavy emphasis on the cost and the strategies that will be used to implement the EPA across the region. Apart from the EPA, the meeting will also examine the status of implementation of the regimes regarding the free movement of skills within the CSME. COTED will be appraised of the progress on several regional organizations and facilities like the CARICOM Competition Commission, the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standing and Quality, and the CARICOM Development Fund. Discussions will also be held on the external trade matters, including the CARICOM Canada Trade and Development Agreement, the Doha Round of Multilateral Negotiations, and the CARICOM Dominican Republic Free Trade Agreement. Edward Lane, the 6 o'clock news.
A Lagrange, West Bank Demerara woman has reportedly been shot by an ex-lover at Robb and Cummings Street border. Reports are that around 20 hours yesterday, 22-year-old Sophia Pittman Boston was walking along the roadway when she was confronted by the man. The man then pulled out a handgun, shot her in the right side chest, and escaped. Boston was subsequently taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where she was admitted. The suspect has not yet been arrested. 6 lucky shoppers are now able to shop till they drop and make a new Christmas list. They were chosen among hundreds of entries in the Breeze Shopping Spree Christmas promotions. We bring you that story a bit later. Commuters continue to pay 2 different minibus fares even after Commerce Minister Maniram Prashad made it clear that the fares were to be reduced from November 15. NCN's Mark Murray spoke with several commuters who have all expressed disgust at the situation. Here are details.
An ultimate decision to lower minibus fares was made during a meeting between Commerce Minister Maniram Prashad, the Guyana Public Transportation Association and the General Minibus Association, but commuters are still clueless as to how to budget for traveling on a daily basis as they are forced to pay different fares.
Okay, I have been giving them 60. I make sure I have change and I give them 60. If you give them 100, they're taking out 80. But when you have change, you give them the 6 and they're accepting it.
Well, them and dropping the bus fare, it still is the same amount. And we need it to drop. We have kids. We have to eat every day.
Another woman who chose to remain anonymous thinks that more should be done as some operators refuse to accept the previous fares.
Much. We know that everybody has to make a living, has to live, but I think they're exploiting citizens where the bus fare is concerned.
And some commuters who live out of Georgetown are saying that the fares have been lowered, but the problem lies when they use buses around the city.
Our fare on East Coast dropping. Enterprise is 120. Anywhere else you gotta pay the full fare, but Enterprise fare dropped to 120 and that's good.
Persons are advised to demand their change from operators and not to be misled that fares have not been reduced. Reporting for the NCN 6 o'clock news, Mark Murray.
President Barrow Jagdeo today accepted the credentials of 2 new additions to the diplomatic fraternity in Guyana. Ambassador of Portugal, His Excellency João Cateiro, and Nigeria's High Commissioner, His Excellency John Musa, both presented their credentials at the office of the President today. Here's Edward Lane.
First to present his credentials this afternoon at the office of the President was Portugal Ambassador to Guyana, João Cateiro.
Your Excellency, I would like to present to you the predecessor and my credential letters. Okay.
The ambassador has expressed his excitement to be in Guyana and has vowed to ensure that he strengthens cooperation between the 2 countries. Following the Portugal ambassador was Nigeria's High Commissioner to Guyana, John Musa.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, I have the honor and the privilege to give you this letter of commission from the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Umaru Musa Yar'Adua.
High Commissioner Musa, after presenting his credentials, said he has high on his agenda collaboration in the agriculture sector, particularly with the focus on assisting small farmers.
So, to boost food production, not only for domestic consumption, but for export as well. We are also into, hopefully, we want to look at the possibility of buying into the expertise of the sugar production sector.
Edward Lane, the 6 o'clock news.